Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you again. So then, 867-5309, the most famous phone number of all time, and the absolute bane of anyone back in the 80s who actually had this phone number. That said, pretty much every single last one of them had to change it because of non-stop prank calls. Because of course. Now, most, including myself, think of 867-5309/Jenny by Tommy Tutone as an 80s one-hit wonder. But it turns out that it's actually not. It seems Tommy also had a top 40 hit 2 years previous with a track called Angels Say No that I am wholly unfamiliar with. However, it might as well be considered a one-hit wonder, as 867-5309-Jenny to this date has 111 million total streams on Spotify, while Angels Say No has barely cracked 100,000. Regardless, great classic 80s hit here that everybody knows. Let's close in here a little bit and learn how it's played, shall we? All right then, 867-5309-Jenny, Tommy Tutone. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial. Throughout this track, there's multiple layered guitars going on. I'm going to try to combine it all into one, but I'm going to show you all the different parts and whatnot. But if you're playing this on one guitar, this is kind of how you'd play it, right? But let's start with the opening riff here. There, which is going to be played all throughout the verses and whatnot as well, and also as a little mid-song break. So we're holding this little double stop here. 5 of the B string, 6 of the G. Well, it's not a double stop because we're not hitting them together, but it's a little chord, I suppose, a little kind of A major shape. 5 of the B, 6 of the G. We're going to ride down the top 3 strings with the open E, right? Then you're going to take that 6, drop it onto 7, while still keeping your index planted on that 5. Do the exact same thing. And then right back to the 6 and 5 again, right? And do the exact same thing. Just ride down the top 3 strings. Then you're very quickly going to shift off to 4 and 4 of the G and the B with the open E. Ride down and back up. Right? And then repeat. That's the opening lick to this one. That is going to continue when the main riff kicks in. Which you're going to be repeating 10 times, twice before the vocals come in, and then 8 more times during the first verse. All power chords, F sharp power chord, down to a D5 power chord that you're going to hit twice, off to an A power chord that you're going to hit twice, into a B power chord that you're going to hit 3 times before repeating. Kind of like that, right? And when you drop back into F sharp, every other time going forward, you're going to start it with a quick little down, up, down. Kind of like that, right? Just the first time, do you just hit it once? Repeating that all throughout the first verse like 8 times. Right in the middle, to break up the first half of the verse and the second half of the verse, we have this little lick. Right there. So with our ring finger and middle finger, we're on 5 of the B, 6 of the G. We're going to hit this twice, this little double stop, slide it back 2 spots, and then off to a double stop on the 2s of the same 2 strings. Right? And then we're going to take that double stop and bounce it off the 4 of the D string, just back and forth like 2 or 3 times. And the final time you go back to that double stop on the 2s, you're going to hit it twice, and then finish with a double stop on the 4s of the D and the G string. So kind of like this. With a little bit of a waggle, right? It's just a little lick lick that they throw in to break up the first half of the verse and the second half of the verse. Right? After you repeat that 8 times during the first verse, we drop into the pre-chorus. That right there. So we're dropping off to an E power chord that we're going to palm mute, downstroke it like 7 times, right? And then we're going to drop into D. Right? You're going to hit that D twice. Then you're going to reach up here with your pinky, grab the C sharp note at the 4th fret of the A, and then we're going to go off to A with a quick single note open A, and then drop into the A power chord. Kind of like that, right? And then we're going to go back off to open A again, very, very briefly, and then drop into the B, right? So you're kind of throwing in a couple of quick little palm muted open A's there. Kind of like that. Right? So there's 4 notes there. And then back to E, and then A to D for the middle of the chorus, right? Or the middle of the pre-chorus. A to D, and then leading back to E again, you're going to grab a quick 4-2 open of the A string. Sorry, you're not going to open, you're just going to go 4-2. And then right back to E again, and then repeat the first one, D off to A. With that lick, right? Grabbing that C sharp off to A into B, right? Right? So that's the pre-chorus. You're kind of repeating that same little pattern 3 times, right? D, A, B, A to D, D, A, B, riff for the chorus, right? That riff is used for the chorus and the verses. And then we drop into the second verse, which starts like this. With Crazy Train, basically. So we're holding this F sharp 5 chord, 2 of the low E, 4 of the A. We're starting on that 4 of the A, and we're just going to bounce back and forth between those 2 notes, starting on the 4 of the A twice. Palm muted, right? Then you're going to take your pinky, drop it on the 5 of the A string while still keeping your index planted on that 2. Do the same thing, and then back it up to 4 again. Right? Repeat it twice. And then you're just going to go open A, 2, 4, 2, open, and then repeat. Now that's pretty much all that's going on during the first half of the second verse. And then we play this lick again. Right? And then all the other guitars join. One playing this. One playing the main riff. Right? 4 more times for the second half of the verse. We drop into the pre-chorus again. E, D, and that quick little shift off to A into B, right? A to D. Chorus. Right, repeated 4 times. And then we drop into the bridge. That right there. So we're using little major chords here, major and minor chords, starting with a C sharp minor. I'm going to kind of strum down initially and then ride up the top 3 strings 2 or 3 times, right? Kind of like that, C sharp minor. Then off to E major, do the exact same picking pattern, right? Initial downstroke, and then up a couple couple of times, and then into F sharp minor. Same picking pattern, then into A major, into B major. Kind of double timed, right? And then start it again. Off to E major, and then we're going to drop into an F sharp power chord, off to A into B, palm muted. And to finish, a couple of B's, you're just going to stab those and then choke them off, right? A, B, B, right? And then we're back to the intro again. That's going to continue. The main riff's going to kick back in. And then the solo kicks in. Right there. So we're soloing in the key of F sharp minor, using mostly the minor pentatonic scale. We do grab one note at one point near the end out of the minor scale, but it's predominantly minor pentatonic work here. We're starting on the 9 of the D string. And we're going to play this little lick, all going on the 7s and 9s of the A and the D. Finishing on the 7 of the D. Right? Simple enough. Then we're going to slide into 11 of the D and go down to 9 of the G, and then go back and forth twice. Kind of like that. Then we're going to do a little trill between 9 and 11, a little double trill. Kind of like that, finishing on the 11. Down to 10 of the B and choke it off. So from the beginning. Right, that's the first half of the solo pretty much. Now we're going to drop onto 12 of the B, full step bend, and we're going to do this little descending, kind of awkward to play scale run. There's a lot of rolling going on the same fret, so full step bend of that 12. Then you're going to go 10 onto 12, onto 11 of the G, back to the 10 of the B. Now you're going to take that 10 of the B and quickly shift off to 9 of the G. And then on to 11. And now when you grab that 11 of the G, you're going to roll it up to 11 of the D, back down to 9 of the G, and roll that up to 9 of the D. So from the bend. Right, finishing on that 9 of the D. And we finish the solo with this. So we're backing up to a 7 of the D, and we're going to go 7 onto 9, sliding into 11, and then 9, 11 of the G. And then very staccato, we're going to go 9, 10, 12 of the B, down to a 9 of the high E with your index, and then you're going to take that, move it into 12, slide it into 14, and then grab the 17 of the B into a full step bend to finish the solo. Right? Almost finished the solo, because when the rhythm drops into the pre-chorus, the soloist is going to grab the 22nd fret here of the high E, little double full step bend, right, backs it up to 17, and finishes with that little lick right there. 17 of the high E, little full step bend, release off to 15, kind of like that, back onto 17 for another little bend release off to 15, finishing on the 17 of the B. Kind of like that. A little lick right out of Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. Right, so that is the solo. Let's recap that nice and slow. right? Big bend there at 22. Finishing with that, right? And then we're into the pre-chorus, right? I think that's going on over the first half of the pre-chorus. Chorus. Final chorus, which just continues with that main riff until fade out. And there you go, my friends. That is how you play 8675309 Jenny by Tommy Tutone. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.